is us. We're live. Hi, everyone. I am Aaron Shimmons, joined by
Wolfie.
Wolfie in Arizona. And we're just going to chat a little bit about the Speed Project, LA to Las Vegas, which has just got underway this week. Hold on, we're getting the notification in. Getting the notification in from a runner in the Speed Project right now, telling me that he's ready for the to come on live in about 45 minutes. So, Brian, I think we'll just set the stage on what is the Speed Project, because there's not a lot of stuff online about this. You can't go to a website and read about it. It's more sort of piecing bits together from various people that have been involved in it and their social media. So headline is the Speed Project, TSP, 340 miles, 550 kilometers, solo, supported, or relay from the Santa Monica Pier in LA to the sign in Las Vegas. Did I get that about right?
You got it.
All right. And the description we're seeing about it, and they sort of put out as unsanctioned, unhinged, underground, and off the grid. So, I mean, we can just call it as it is. It's a cool event, isn't it?
It's very cool. It is very cool.
Yeah. So, have you been following it? What have you seen so far, or what have you got to say about just the concept, even?
Yeah, no, the concept's really rad. In fact, I'm always a little bit surprised that it doesn't ping a higher beacon within the ultra community. Because yeah, I mean it's on roads, but they also have the ability to go from the pier to the Las Vegas sign in any direct route that they wish. So they're going into maybe private lands. You've got power lines that they're running through where it's in the desert. So it's mixed trail, mixed terrain as well. You got elevation gain as you're going up some of the passes there to get to the sign. So to me, it lends itself outstandingly well to the ultra community and trail runners. Has kind of that dirt bag, support yourself or throw some buddies in a van and have them meet you along the way, eating out of gas stations. So yeah, it's a wild event, and it's pretty cool how they market it.
It sort of reminds me a little bit of like a modern day cool version of Vol State, in a
Yeah.
sense. I kind of, obviously there's the relay and all this sort of stuff, but I love this sort of dirtbag approach that you can take to it. So some of the runners, I think 23 of them, are running it solo, all their stuff on their back, um and or actually there's solo supported, and then there's solo just you're on your own, basically. And
Right.
that's the way I would want to do it, to be
Oh, you're
fair.
you're you're a bad man.
I mean, I want to live on gas station burritos and whatever I can find along the shops along the way. I think that sounds like way more of an adventure, which is what these kind of things are all about, right? We do these for adventure anyway.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. So this is a full bandit race by all means. You're not having any sort of permit through towns. You're on your own. There's going to be teams or solo runners that do have run-ins with the law. You're going to have run-ins with angry locals in different areas that are a bit more rural. You're going to have run-ins with wildlife, wild dogs. There's been some epic encounters there and pictures that come out of it. So kind of like what Lululemon did when they went out to the desert to create a good scene for product activation. Brands have realized that like this route itself just lends itself to just epic Instagram videos, or even like well put together, documentaries on the experience. So yeah, it's super cool. I think it looks more kind of like the Cannonball Run, like the old school like race car movies that we would have seen, or like some of the old like Bandit Cannonball runs. So that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, and you see some of these pictures, and never has a long unwinding road to the horizon look so appealing. Normally that's the sort of running route of nightmares. But looking at it in some of the pictures that we see, it just looks like the ultimate uh, adventure. You're not going out into the wilds. You're traveling through a country, 340 miles through a country. There's what's known as the OG route, which
Right.
I don't know an awful lot about, but that is more of an off-road route. I think it's maybe the fastest or the shortest route. And some solo unsupported runners will take that. The runner that we have in the next stream in about 35 minutes, James Poole, he's running it as a solo unsupported runner. I'm not sure if he's doing the OG route, but we'll ask him whenever he's on with us. Currently in the solo race, there's a guy, Aaron Kabbalah, in the lead. He's a supported runner. He's got 225 miles to go, so um, he's trucking along well. Third at Moab last year, seventh at Ure, a 100 miler, which is probably one of the hardest mountain 100 milers in the States. And he's 29 years old. Not quite sure where he's from, but I do know that he seems to rock the speedlands. Do you know anything about Aaron, or have you followed any of the solo runners?
No, no, I haven't followed along with his journey at all. I just know Norda has got an athlete out there that some of the crew's supporting, so it'll be fun to tune in. Hopefully, get them live on the road at least at some point during this week.
I've seen some of the Nordic content, and tell us a bit about the runner that they have there. I think he's the best dressed runner out there. He
Oh,
he looks the
hands
coolest.
Yeah, yeah, and that goes without saying. Once you knew that Norda was going to latch on and support somebody, the guy was going to be bringing some quality aesthetics and self styling to the TSP van. So yeah, Essie's his name. I don't know much about him either. I know he's based over on your side of the pond, as they say. So I think he's got more. Pedigree over there, with just kind of like soul running. He's not something that you're going to see on ultra sign up or anything like that. So just somebody I think that goes under the mainstream radar, which is again why he's tackling TSP, because it brings that culture of running with creativity and style, but also tackling a long distance and really pulling a lot out of yourself. I mean, that's a
Yeah,
long way to trek.
yeah, yeah, totally. And one of the interesting things I see about this event is it attracts your non-typical ultra runner. I even hesitate to say ultra runner, because some of the runners that will tackle this have not much experience. Maybe they've done 100K, maybe they've not done a 100 miler, but not like they don't have a long storied history of ultra marathons. So it attracts a different type of runner, which again, that's cool. It's attracting people into a sport that we love, right?
Right. Yeah, and the timing of it, I think, with your Cocodonas and things like that around the corner, it would be hard to do TSP, but you might plan for maybe a bigger 200 miler. This would be a great, training run, to get some of your logistics, sleep strategies down. But I think the event really was born on the relay side of it first, and you do see a lot of competitive run clubs or a lot of brands like On or um, who else? Red Bull's had a competitive team before, so a lot of your edgy brands that see this as a great opportunity to get some good marketing out of the event, they put together a highly competitive team, and they're running, between 3 to 10K intervals, all out, 100% VO2 max, and blitzing this thing all the way to the sign. So it's fun to catch both sides of the event as the week goes on.
I've definitely seen some testosterone sort of flexing, getting ready for the gun at Santa
Yeah.
Monica Pier. And it's interesting. Some of the groups would be like run groups from the city. I know I know of New York City groups that have went there before and put together a relay team. The relay is not something that I followed closely before, other than knowing that some brands have been involved in it. And I think you're right. Maybe On was the first one that they're a big brand that have kind of put some light on the event, right?
Right. Yeah. Satisfy also. They had a team, maybe what 4 or 5 years ago that had a really wild documentary about I think 45-minute film that's worth going and checking out. put together in true Satisfy style. So yeah, I mean, there's so many little iconic landmarks on this race that people look forward to. You know, I've already called out the power line strip that always has some good visuals. There's a pretty roached out reclining chair. The guys take a little break in and kick their feet up in the middle of the desert. Niles, the organizer's got like I think it's like a '70s Cadillac or Lincoln limousine that he's always shouting out on a mega horn out the sunroof. So yeah, I mean,
Style points
yes,
all over this gig.
it's Smokey and the Bandit. Your Burt Reynolds mustache would fit in perfectly. It's the
I
hipster
love it.
Olympics out there. Yeah.
I certainly would fancy giving it a go, or being involved in it in some shape. But yeah, it's a bit of a trek across America for that sort of thing at this time of year as well. You know, but some of the people like James Poole, who's coming on to the show later on tonight. I mean, that guy has a lot of experience doing this. This is his third speed project. He also did the Atacama speed project, which they launched at the end of last year. I think it was November. Similar sort of distance, and yeah, you should. He's a great Google him, YouTube him. There's some great videos that have been put out there. He's supported by North Face, and definitely worth a watch. So I think we will wrap it up at this point, but you and I will be checking in throughout the duration of this event, speaking to teams, speaking to crew, speaking to some runners, and just feeling what the vibe is as they make their way towards the Las Vegas sign. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. Yeah, get some more exposure to the ultra and trail folks out there that might not have known about it otherwise, or not had the easy way to plug into it. So yeah, we'll bring it to the masses.
All right. Okay, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. See you, Brian.